I want to use this video to focus on the question, what did Robert Greenleaf see in Journey to the East that led him to develop the theory of servant leadership? Journey to the East was first published in 1932. It was published in German. It was first published in English in 1956. Greenleaf read it in 1958, 2 years after it first came out in English. In 1964, Greenleaf retired from his job at AT&T after almost 40 years with the company. And in 1970, Greenleaf published his seminal essay on servant leadership. So let's look at the story that's told in Journey to the East. There's this group known as the League that goes on a pilgrimage. Along this pilgrimage is someone named Leo who acts as a servant to the group. He cooks the meals, he carries the luggage. His role is basically to support the others on the pilgrimage. One day, Leo disappears. The group quickly becomes disorganized. There's dissension, there's bickering. The pilgrimage falls apart. Much later in the book, we find that Leo is actually the leader of the League. And Greenleaf says, after reading this book, from this, I got the key to the greatness of Leo was the fact that he was first a servant and then a leader. So let's take a look at Greenleaf and see what he saw in Journey to the East, or at least see what I believe he saw in Journey to the East. So Greenleaf spent 40 years in this large bureaucratic organization. The old American telephone and telegraph company, piece of the Bell system, the local and long-distance phone company for the United States. Had thousands of employees, a very hierarchical organization, very top-down organization. Greenleaf's role was a little bit different. He was sort of the corporate thinker in charge of education and training and some other activities. But he's very much a relatively senior executive in the company. But it was still a very large bureaucratic organization. Oh, and it was also a very successful organization in accomplishing its mission, which was to provide phone service throughout the United States. And it succeeded wonderfully between 1900 here, when our logo comes about, through the mid-1970s when it started to be broken up. So it succeeded wildly during the time that Greenleaf worked there. So when Greenleaf looks at Leo, and then he looks back at the team of loyal AT&T employees, he sees this link. He sees that the success of AT&T, the line success of AT&T, the customer service success of AT&T, came from the initiative and loyalty of the employees. In spite of the large organization and the top-down leadership, the success of AT&T came from those people working on the ground, installing telephones, connecting phone calls, installing the lines, repairing the lines after a storm. And at this point, he realizes that there's an importance in developing and nurturing the employees and then providing them the support they need to do their job. So from this concept, Greenleaf is able to flip this large organization from which he's been a part of his entire life and sort of forms his paradigm of how he sees the world, and he's able to flip it on its head and see that the real role of the leaders of AT&T was, in many cases, and clearly should be, supporting, nurturing the employees, developing the employees, serving the employees, much like he saw Leo doing in Journey to the East.